After making a name for herself as a celebrated singer, songwriter, actor and performer, Ramelo released her debut single, Heyi Wena. The 34-year-old musician who hails from Durban but has lived in Johannesburg for the past 10 years is no stranger to the music industry, having worked under the previous stage name of Lelo Ramasimong. She joins us now this morning to share a bit more on her latest release. Lelo, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us and a warm welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you so much for having me, Simperia. I'm very grateful to be here.
Indeed, it's so good to have you on the show this morning, Lelo. Why did you change your stage name from Lelo to Ramelo?
Well, it's been a bit of a journey for me, and changing it to Ramelo was definitely a coming of age kind of situation, just because I wanted now to establish myself as a recording artist, specifically because all these years I have been on musical theatre stages and corporate stages, and now I wanted my identity to represent an amalgamation of my musical journey as a whole. And changing my name to Ramelo, I felt was appropriate for that purpose.
Okay. And for the sake of those who've never heard your music or anything about you, how would you describe yourself and the music that you create?
Well, I love R&B and soul. I grew up listening to R&B and soul. But my music is definitely a mixture of R&B and soul and some very African and South African elements. So a little bit of elements of mkashia and mixed with some hip hop and R&B. So it's something I think that anybody and everybody can enjoy. Specifically, my current single, Heyi Wena, is definitely a representation of all of my influences in life.
It does sound like an interesting cocktail of genres, you know. Let's talk about your latest single, Heyi Wena. Talk us through the inspiration behind the song.
Well, really, the song was born out of my feelings of frustration, particularly in 2020, where we saw artists have no work for the whole year of 2020. And as you know, being an artist is very difficult. It's actually quite impossible to be working from home. So the circumstances that myself and many of my fellow colleagues were faced were such that we didn't know how we were going to pay our bills. Some people had to sell their gear, etc., etc. And it really frustrated me to see how I felt nobody really cared. Hence the first line of the song, nobody really cares about us. However, with that said, the song is also a celebration of the human spirit and the human ability to take lemons, because really, in all honesty, we were served lemons last year, and take those lemons and make lemonade. So it's not only looking at the negative and how it really affected artists all over the country, but also it's looking at the positive and seeing how artists have managed to take what they've been given and make something out of it. Sure. And that's an inspiring thing.
Indeed. I mean, such a heartwarming, positive mindset really is inspirational. And I'll ask, who's your biggest influence when it comes to music? Who do you look up to?
My music influences are so many and so vast. But I would say people like Aretha Franklin, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, definitely the Queen Bee, Beyonce. I just love all of those people's work ethic and the fact that they all write their own songs and write from a place of honesty, and a place of their own experiences. And the wonderful thing about songwriting and writing songs is that you get to tell a story that everybody can be a part of. And what I loved about listening to their stories growing up is that I always felt like I wasn't alone in whatever circumstances I was going through. It made me feel like, hey, I'm not the only one going through this situation. Yeah.
Indeed. I mean, it leads to my next question. What's the importance of writing your own music? I mean, in terms of owning your own craft.
I think it's very important, even if you as an artist don't know how to, at least learn the different ways that you can develop that skill. Because, I don't know, for me, it's a very freeing experience. It's very cathartic in many ways. But also it helps you, it gives you a way to link with people outside and to establish a fan base that understands you and you understand them, and you are able to express the things that are going on in not just only in your personal life, but also in the world as a whole.
And apart from expressing your thoughts, what's the most enjoyable aspect of your work?
So far, it's been how people have received it. Yes, you'll always have the naysayers. That goes without saying. It doesn't matter whether you do good or bad. People will always have something negative to say, and that's okay. We need some of that negativity in our lives just to push us a bit. But it's just been so exciting for me and to see how people have received it, because when you write a song or when you create a project, it's almost like your baby, and you really want everybody to love your baby. You know, when your baby is born, no matter who says, no matter what, you always want people to say, oh, your baby is beautiful, you know. And so for me, that has been the most thrilling part of it, just seeing how people have been so accepting and loving and understanding of what it is that I'm trying to say, and that I'm truly grateful for that.
And I guess that is the biggest validation every artist, would need to experience. And I quite like your creative versatility, Ramelo, because you've worked on quite a few theatre productions. Do tell us more about those.
Well, back in Durban, my career started back in Durban, and I worked on theatre productions such as Little Shop of Horrors. And then when I moved to Joburg, I worked on, I was a part of the cast of Dreamgirls, which was at Monte Casino. And then later on, I think it was about 2018, I was a part of the cast of The Color Purple, which was a really major production for me because it afforded me one of my first lead roles. And it was a really successful production as well. And then beyond that, in 2019, I went on to Enter the Voice, SA, and that also kind of got my name really out there, which was also amazing.
I was blown over by your performance in Color Purple. I was like, gosh, and I watched it not once, but 3 times. Yeah, so you really are amazing. You really are amazing, Ramelo. I mean, just how different is theatre production to performing your own music on stage?
Theatre production and performing your own music is very different, because I think in theatre, you're taking on a specific role.
Yes.
So you have the responsibility of being able to portray somebody else's story in the truest and the most honest way, so that people get that story not from your perspective, but they get the story from who you're trying to portray. Whereas performing your own music, it's you. It's who you are. You are portraying yourself and your experiences and your life experiences. So you're not playing a role. You're just being who you are on stage. So I guess those are the major differences there.
Okay. Now, Ramelo, you're working on a new album, isn't it? Just tell us more about this.
Well, it's not an album. I'm working on an EP first.
Okay.
You know, slowly but surely. But yes, I definitely want to work on an album soon. But I'm working on an EP first, and I'll be releasing my next single sometime very soon this year. So please, everybody, look out for that. You can follow me on all my social medias. I'm at Ramelo_artist on Twitter and on Instagram, and on Facebook I'm at Ramelo Artist, and there you will get to learn more about my musical journey and what's next in terms of creating my EP.
Want to give us more hints about the EP, what it's all about?
Well, at the moment, the only thing that I have that's a definite is what it's going to be called, and it's going to be called The Awakening, because I feel it's definitely going to be an awakening for me in terms of reaching a place and a time in my career where I feel like I can reveal all of who I am, all of the things that have irked me in the past, and things that I feel need to change in life, in society, specifically within our South African society. So, but it's also going to be something that's vibey, that people can dance to, that people can relate to.
You know, the music industry in South Africa evolves on a regular basis, and there is introduction of new genres. So just moving forward, Ramelo, Are you at liberty to share with us whether you'll be sticking to this particular genre or you'll be adopting and embracing more genres in the future?
Definitely adopting and embracing different genres, and in the process trying to create my own kind of genre, something that people can identify Ramelo with, because I feel like music is forever changing, and it's important as an artist to, in some ways, stay relevant and change with the times.
Yes.
So that the younger people, can also engage with your music and engage with the things that you're talking about in your music.
All right, Ramelo, great chatting to you, man. All the best.
Thank you so much, Simpriya. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, thank you. Do have a great day.
You too.
Okay, we just spoke to Ramelo, South African beautiful, soulful singing sensation, on her debut single, Heyi Wena. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back shortly.